Hi, this is Angus Jennings, Town Manager here in West Newbury, and this is one in a series of periodic updates to residents of the town and others interested in the town about some current events, things going on, and things coming down the road as we look ahead. So I've got a handful of items I'm going to provide updates, and as I've said before, we're happy to cover topics that are of interest to people. So if there's something you'd like to hear more about, whether through these updates or through town website, or just give us a call or send us an email. We're always happy to talk about whatever people want to hear about. Sometimes we have to talk about things people don't want to hear about as well, but that's part of the job. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on is vaccinations. I know that's something of obviously enormous interest to people, and I think West Newbury is in very good hands. We have a great team led by our health department, and we've got an active vaccination working group that includes the fire chief, the emergency management director, myself, a member of the Board of Health. Actually, the full Board of Health is involved, but they have a designee. We have some dedicated volunteers, and public safety is involved as well. So, and Council on Aging. Some residents will have received a letter in the mail this week with a survey regarding asking people to self-identify their different risk categories or eligibility categories in terms of the state-issued priority list for vaccinations. We're following that very closely. And earlier this month, in early January, the town was officially approved by the Commonwealth as a vaccination provider. And that means that we may be in a position to receive vaccines once they become available, we're eligible. So we're working also in coordination within the region on vaccinations of first responders and public safety. And we're following the prioritized list in terms of the different phases of vaccinations. Our best guess right now is that vaccinations would become available to the general public as part of phase 3, which is estimated to be in the April to June timeframe. So obviously that's a big range of time. As we get more information and more specific information, we'll make that available. But in the meantime, if people want to stay current on that, the best point of contact is our health agent, Paul Savigny, and he can be reached at his office by phone or through the website or via email at psavigny@wnewbury.org. And looking ahead to setting up vaccination clinics, we will need some number of volunteers, not a huge number of volunteers. And for people who are interested, they need to know coming in that it is a significant time commitment. So if that's something that, if you want to be on that list and you want to get trained and be part of actually the administration of the vaccine clinics, we don't know exactly how many volunteers we'll need, but we have put out a call for interested people. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, please contact the health agent. Again, that's Paul Savigny, psavigny@wnewbury.org. The second item I'd like to touch on is the election calendar. The nomination papers are now available for the various open seats. The town election is going to take place on Monday, May 3rd. The deadline to take out nomination papers is Thursday, March 11th, and the deadline to return nomination papers is Monday, March 15th. So the point of contact for that is our town clerk, town council, Mike McCarron. He can be reached at mmccarron@wnewbury.org or by calling the town office extension 110. And if you'd like to take out papers, you can contact Mike and you can come pick them up at the town office. You can actually download the request to receive the signature papers from the town website. So that election calendar is now officially underway. The selectmen recently voted the date for the annual town meeting. Under the town bylaws and in tradition, normally the town meeting would be the last Monday in April. But this year, because we know COVID will still be with us to some extent anyway, at the end of April. That means we're going to have another outdoor town meeting. And obviously, we're not going to have a Monday night outdoor town meeting. So we're going to have it on a Saturday, and the selectmen voted Saturday, May 22nd. So it'll be a little bit later in the year in hopes that we'll be further along with our COVID vaccination and that the weather will hopefully cooperate. We'll have a nice day on Saturday, May 22nd. So working backwards from that, the deadline to submit warrant articles for consideration for the Springtown meeting is going to be Friday, February 12th. And the Board of Selectmen will meet on Monday, February 22nd. And that's when they'll officially vote to close the warrant and set the slate of items that will be presented to voters later this year. So that's what I have in terms of kind of elections and town meeting and so forth. I do have some brief project updates on some of the capital improvements that are ongoing or underway in town. With the Middle Street Bridge, that's moving right along in the design phase. We're working in close coordination with the City of Newburyport and with the engineering firm BSC Group. And we're now we're just kicking off the permitting phase coming up on Monday, January 25th. The West Newbury Conservation Commission will begin its consideration of the Middle Street Bridge replacement. And the following Tuesday, February 2nd, the City of Newburyport Conservation Commission will begin its public hearing. A number of state and federal permits are also required, and those have been submitted. So the project is like I said, really the permitting period is now fully underway. So another project update on the Soldiers and Sailors building. The design contract was signed toward the end of last year, and the architects and the engineers are working hard on that. And we have some meetings coming up in the next week with town permitting staff, with planning, conservation, building inspector, DPW director, myself, and others, so we can make sure that the architects and engineers have all of the information they're going to need to anticipate conditions of permit that may come out of that permitting process, so that we can get information as soon in the process as possible, so they know what to expect and help us maintain the project timeline with the goal of getting design complete and putting that out for bid for construction later, either late spring or early summer. So that's what we're aiming for. The middle high school is going right along. They're going really quickly. The project is continuing to be on schedule and on budget. And this coming Wednesday, January 27th, there is a beam signing ceremony that will involve members of the school building committee and others. And that's a ceremonial event. That'll be the final structural beam placed in the building. And that'll be signed by a number of town officials from the 3 Pentucket communities. So it won't, we didn't have the traditional groundbreaking that you sometimes see with a project like that because of COVID protocols. So this will be the first kind of ceremonial event regarding the construction of the new middle high school. So that's next Wednesday morning. In another, just this is more of a policy update, the Board of Selectmen did recently vote to rescind the resident-only parking restriction at Mill Pond and Pipe Stave. So that is back to being available for public parking, and you no longer need a permit to park at Mill Pond and Pipe Stave. And that decision was made on the recommendation of the Board of Health. So that's a change. Next thing, I wanted to acknowledge that we have a few new staff members here in the town office. And so I want to make people aware of some new faces that hopefully when things open up, you'll actually see. But in the meantime, when you pick up the phone and you talk to the treasurer collector, that's going to be our new treasurer collector, Caitlin Gilbert, who began in mid-December on working with outgoing treasurer Susan Yames, who retired as of the end of the calendar year. So Caitlin Gilbert was sworn in as the official new treasurer collector as of the 1st of January. We also have a new chief assessor, Christian Kuhn, and he began with us the final week of December, taking over for Meredith Stone, who had left for a position elsewhere earlier in the fall. And finally, we have a new water licensed operator, Brian Bouchane. He's going to be starting with us this coming week, January 26th. And we are incredibly excited to welcome him on board. Our water department has been short-staffed for over 6 months. And so that's been a tremendous strain on the limited personnel that we have there. So it's going to be great to finally get a new person on board there. So you may see Brian out in the field working with our superintendent, Mike Goutet, and members of the Board of Water Commissioners. And the last couple of points, we continue to promote activities through the offered by the library. Those are on the town website calendar. You can also go to the library website, but we try to put all of those events on the town calendar as well. So if you go to the calendar at wnewbury.org, you'll see upcoming public meetings, agendas, all of that. But you'll also see other, civic events and public events hosted by the library. And finally, I would remind people that we do have a email subscriber list, and we're pretty active with that. We send out updates several times a week on items of interest. So that's a great way to stay up to date on some of the things going on in town. If you follow the town's Facebook page, it's similar information there. But if you're interested in subscribing for news and announcements, either from the main page or from any of the board and committee or department pages, those all have separate opportunities to subscribe for updates. So you can go to wnewbury.org/subscribe. And at any point, obviously, pick up the phone, call any office in town hall. And if you have any questions, we'll make sure to either answer them or to direct you to the right person who can answer them. So that's what I have for this update. So thanks everybody for your attention, and I hope you have a great day.